Well, I'm a real neuroscience geek, and the whole term of metacognition is the concept of what you're thinking about. I like to kind of go out, what I describe to my clients is getting under the hood of the car. Like if you're feeling a little stuck in life or something ain't working, we need to figure out what's going on underneath, because what we present out there isn't necessarily the reasons why. And it all comes down to, this can be like a full-on discussion about neuroscience, but what fascinates me is the concept that the brain is plastic. Neuroplasticity is proven that we can rewire our thoughts. We're not a product of our past or our circumstances. We can really change things. And that's really what got me excited in becoming a coach. My whole concept is teaching people renewing your mind. How do you think new every day? What are the habits that are required? What are the thought processes? What needs to be ditched and what needs to be delegated and what needs to be done? Like maybe these hang-ups we have can be fixed if we can look back and we're willing to do hard things. An example is someone who's a business owner who's leading a team and people. Several of my clients will have this problem with their leadership because they don't feel like they are good enough to show up and lead others when they feel like they're dealing with issues. But at the end of the day, we can't bring our hang-ups from maybe how we were raised, and maybe there was, some people have come from abuse, but some people just didn't have confidence as kids, and they bring that with them into adulthood, and it eventually affects our relationships and our decisions. So I think this is vital work that we need to do, realigning people with who they are. I'm sure we've seen those classic examples of those entrepreneurs who are, all firing on all cylinders, and they are go, 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 and they're going to get their goals and make millions of dollars at any expense. And you see them 10 or 15 or 20 years later, they either separated, divorced, they've imploded, they've alcohol, drugs, whatever vices, because they never dealt with the issues that have driven them to be so motivated. Maybe it was a daddy issue, maybe it was a rejection issue. And they usually are the most insecure people anyway. The people who strive the most, and we look up to them like celebrity. Even the likes of people like Steve Jobs, they achieve amazing things, but at what cost, right? And oftentimes if you look under the hood and you scratch below the surface, there was major rejection and often it's parental issues where either they were like daddy issues where daddy didn't give me attention, or there was abuse, and they always feel like their programming is they have to prove themselves to the world. And the only way they'll feel better about themselves is if they get rich and famous. But here's the caveat. When they get there, they realize it isn't what they were searching for. They've missed the missing piece, which is getting in alignment with your spirit being, which is your connection with God and your purpose and who you are. We can't devise ourselves. We are, even as a mindset coach, it's not all mindset. It's how you think drives your actions. But it has to come back to your heart as well. We have to align you with your heart and your purpose, because then you'll realize every choice you make, like say in Steve Jobs' case, we all know the story of how he, wouldn't even acknowledge he had a daughter, and I'm sure she's had issues, and how he died as well. It's very sad that you feel he didn't reach his full potential, even though he built this amazing company. Was it worth it? I don't know. The hard questions, we need to ask them. Everything comes back to how we believe and what we believe about ourselves, our self-concept, our self-worth, and how that ties together. So this is important work we all need to do. Well, the best place to find me is my website, which is mimikacooney.com, and I'll spell that for our audio listeners. It's MIMIKACOONEY.com. And everything related to my social media links, you can all find me on. I love to hang out on Instagram and LinkedIn. I'm also on Facebook and have a YouTube channel, all of Mimika Cooney. I have my own podcast, the Mimika TV Show. And I regularly provide trainings, and I have some tools, like I have 8 steps to supercharge your mindset. If you're interested, you can go ahead to mimikacooney.com and download that today. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to subscribe. Hit the little bell button so you'll be the first to know when we release a new episode.